The boardroom lights were too bright. The air conditioning cut like a cold blade across my neck. Security stood by the door, holding a brown envelope that would end everything. I slid the flash drive across the polished table. My voice was steady when I said, "Play track 7. The first beat of audio dropped like a gavel. His voice filled the room, laughing as he said, 3 flights, no witnesses." The executives froze. The lawyers stopped writing. Even the clock seemed to hold its breath. Now the room is very quiet, the kind of quiet that comes before everything breaks open. Tell me where you're listening from. Because this is where my story starts to make sense. This is where you'll understand why I couldn't just walk away, why I couldn't just let it go. 6 months ago, I thought I worked for a good company. I thought my boss was just demanding, not dangerous. I thought falling downstairs was an accident that happened to clumsy people. I was wrong about all of it. Concrete steps, bleach tang in the air, the hollow ring of my heels echoing in the stairwell. It was 8:47 in the morning. I had a simple goal: reach the 3rd floor printer before the 9 a.m. metrics meeting. The quarterly reports needed to be perfect. They always did. A hand landed on my shoulder from behind, heavy, deliberate. The shove came fast. A strobe of white-hot pain shot through my skull as I tumbled forward. Metal railing bit into my ribs. My knees cracked against concrete. The world spun in a blur of gray walls and fluorescent lights. When I finally stopped falling, I tasted copper in my mouth. Blood. He appeared at the top of the landing, looking down at me. His eyes were calm, too calm, like he was watching a movie he'd seen before. "Careful," he said. The word echoed off the walls. I stared up at him, my body screaming with pain. He straightened his tie and walked away. That's when I knew. He would say no one saw. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. The smell of antiseptic stung my nose. The paper hospital gown scratched against my skin like sandpaper. I needed everything documented, every bruise, every cut, every minute. The nurse clipped a plastic wristband around my wrist. She glanced at my work clothes and frowned. "Work accident?" she asked. "Yes," I whispered. She leaned closer. "Then you'll want copies of everything. Trust me on this." The discharge papers took forever. X-rays showed ribs but no breaks. The doctor said I was lucky. I didn't feel lucky. When I looked down at my wristband later, something was wrong. The timestamp was off by 12 minutes. 12 minutes that could matter. I took a photo of the wristband with my phone. Then I took photos of everything else. The discharge summary, the X-ray report, the prescription for pain medication. My boss had texted me 3 times. "Hope you're okay. Take the day off. Don't worry about the reports." He never asked what happened. He never asked where I fell. He already knew. The security office smelled like dry toner and stale coffee, burned coffee that had been sitting too long. I needed to file an incident report. Simple procedure. Fill out a form. Get the camera footage. Cover the company's liability. The security guard was young, nervous. He kept glancing at my bruises and then looking away. "Floor 3 stairwell camera," I said. "I need the footage from this morning, around 8:47. His fingers clicked across the keyboard. Then he stopped. His face went pale. "Camera was down for maintenance," he said quietly. "Scheduled outage." I leaned forward. "What time?" 8:40 to 9. He swallowed hard. "Exactly." The timing was perfect. Too perfect. 20 minutes of blindness that covered my fall to the minute. He pulled up the access log on his second monitor. My boss's name was right there. Badge ping at 8:47 outside the 3rd floor stairwell. Then another ping on the 4th floor at 8:49. 2 minutes. Just enough time to push someone downstairs and disappear. The guard glanced at my boss's name on the screen. Then he looked at me. We both knew what we were seeing. "System glitch," he mumbled. "Happens sometimes." But his hands were shaking. Back at my desk, the office felt different. Colder. The air conditioning hummed too loud. Every keystroke echoed. I opened Slack and typed a message to Jamie from accounting. "Did you see me before 9 this morning?" I hit enter. The message appeared for 3 seconds, then it vanished. I tried again with Alex from marketing. "Were you on the 3rd floor around 8:45? Same thing. Message sent, message deleted. My heart started pounding. I checked the channel list. A new private group had appeared. Stashed Ops Sanity Check. Before I could click on it, it disappeared. I whispered to my empty cubicle, "Who has admin access?" The answer came through my computer speakers. A notification sound I'd never heard before. When I looked at my screen, there was a new message in my direct messages. From System Administrator. Some conversations are better left unfinished. The message stayed for exactly 10 seconds. Then it was gone. But I had already taken a screenshot. Someone was watching everything I typed, everything I searched for, every person I tried to contact. They could delete my words, but they couldn't delete my memory. The printer was warm to the touch. The toner smell was sharp and chemical. I printed the daily keycard access log like I did every morning. Standard procedure. Track who goes where. Keep the building secure. But today I had a different goal. I needed to see who was near the third-floor stairwell at 8:47. The report spilled out of the printer, page after page of timestamps and badge numbers. I found the entry I was looking for on page 4. Badge number 4471. Badge number 4471, 49, floor 4 north wing. 2 minutes and 48 seconds. Enough time to push someone downstairs and get to safety. Badge number 4471 belonged to my boss, but there was something else. Someone had drawn a red circle around those 2 entries. The ink was fresh, still wet. The circle wasn't mine. I had just printed this report. Someone else had been here. Someone else had seen what I was looking for. Someone else knew I was digging. I folded the paper and slipped it into my purse. Then I looked around the printer room. Security cameras watched from 3 corners. Whoever circled those entries was watching me right now. I smiled at the camera and waved. Game on. The conference room smelled like stale donuts and burnt coffee. Someone had left a box of pastries from yesterday's client meeting. I needed the Q2 presentation deck for my HR meeting. The slides would prove my work quality. Show that I wasn't some careless employee who just fell downstairs. I opened the file on my laptop. Slide 12 was our client retention chart, the data I had compiled over 3 months, but something was wrong. My footnotes were gone. The methodology section had been rewritten. The timestamp in the document properties made my blood freeze. Last modified 8:53 a.m., the morning of my fall. 5 minutes after I hit the bottom of the stairs, someone was editing my work, cleaning up my analysis, making it look like amateur work. The PDF author tag read, Owner, Admin. I said out loud, why rewrite me now? The door opened behind me. My boss walked in carrying his own laptop. Working late? He asked. His voice was casual. Too casual. Just reviewing the Q2 data, I said. He sat down across from me. Find any errors? I stared at him. He was asking if I found errors in work that had been changed while I was in the hospital. A few, I said. He smiled. Good thing we caught them. My email chimed. New message. Subject, friendly reminder, watch your step. The sender was an email address I didn't recognize, but when I checked the message headers, it got stranger. The email had been forwarded through 3 different aliases, bounced around the company servers like a pinball. The final hop came from execassistant@midlinetech.com, a mailbox that shouldn't exist anymore. The executive assistant had quit 6 months ago. But someone was still using her email. The timestamp made my hands shake. The message was sent during the camera outage window, between 8:40 and 9, while I was falling downstairs. Someone had planned this. The camera maintenance, the email aliases, the message timing. This wasn't a random attack. This was orchestrated. I studied the message headers deeper. IP addresses, server logs, digital breadcrumbs that might lead somewhere. The last relay point was an internal server. Building access required a keycard, the same keycard system that tracked my boss at the stairwell. I screenshotted everything. Email headers, timestamp data, the routing information. Then I printed it all, 3 copies. One for me, one for my lawyer, one hidden in my car. Because emails could be deleted, servers could be wiped, but paper was forever. My boss's office smelled like expensive cologne and leather polish. Awards lined the walls, photos with clients, company achievement plaques. He had called me in for a check-in, standard procedure after a workplace accident. He closed the door and activated the white noise machine. Standard procedure for sensitive conversations. I'm sorry about your fall, he said. These old buildings can be dangerous. He slid a document across his mahogany desk. Just a formality, standard NDA after safety incidents. I read the first paragraph. My stomach dropped. The agreement prevented me from discussing internal accidents, workplace safety concerns, or company security matters with anyone outside the organization. Signing this would gag me completely. It's just to protect everyone, he said. Keep things professional. While he turned to take a phone call, I used my phone to photograph every page. The legal language was dense, but one section was crystal clear. Violation of this agreement would result in immediate termination and financial penalties of up to $50,000. Do I need to sign this today? I asked. Whenever you're ready, he said. His smile didn't reach his eyes. But HR needs it before you can return to full duties. Translation: sign this or lose your job. I folded the papers. I'll review it with my family tonight. His smile faltered for just a second. Of course. Take your time. The copy room hummed with the sound of a broken clock. The display was stuck at 8:48. 2 minutes after someone pushed me down the stairs, Riley from compliance appeared beside me like a ghost. She brushed my elbow and whispered, "We keep shadow archives." I looked around. The room was empty except for us. Off the grid, she continued. Email backups, chat logs, document versions, everything. She handed me a flash drive disguised as a stapler, the kind of hiding in plain sight that actually worked. Don't plug this in while connected to Wi-Fi, she said. Her eyes glanced at the ceiling camera. They monitor network traffic in real time. Why are you helping me? I whispered. Because you're not the first. Her voice was barely audible. 3 other women in the last 2 years, all mysteriously clumsy, all signed NDAs. My blood went cold. This was a pattern, a system. The files are organized by date, she said. Look for anything from this morning, deleted messages, modified documents, access logs. She left without another word. I stared at the flash drive in my palm. It felt like holding a bomb. The broken clock ticked once, then went silent again. Still stuck at 8:48. The moment everything changed. I sat in my car in the parking garage. Engine off, phone in airplane mode. The flash drive felt heavy in my hands. The shadow archive opened like a digital treasure chest. Folders organized by date, email exports, chat logs, document revision histories. I found the folder for this morning, 08/15/2024. Inside were raw email logs showing administrative edits to my messages. The Slack threads I had tried to send, captured before they were deleted. But one text log made my blood freeze. A deleted message from an internal channel I wasn't supposed to see. Make sure stairwell cam is down 8:49, standard maintenance window. Sender A was my boss's first initial. Anthony. The message was sent yesterday at 16 hours before my fall. 16 hours before a coincidence. This wasn't bad luck. This was premeditated. I scrolled through more deleted messages. A conversation thread between my boss and someone called Maintenance Super. Need the 3rd floor stairwell clear tomorrow morning. How long? 20 minutes. 8:40 to 9. Done. What's the work order? I'll handle the paperwork. No work order. No legitimate maintenance. Just a window of invisibility. I saved everything to my personal cloud storage. Then I took photos of my laptop screen with my phone. Multiple backups, multiple locations, multiple ways to prove what happened. The parking garage was cold and echoed with distant car doors, tire squeals from upper levels, the smell of diesel exhaust. I followed the timestamp from the security logs, level B2, southeast corner, where the maintenance staff stored equipment during their shifts. Behind a concrete pillar, I found what I was looking for. A maintenance cart with an open camera housing. Tools scattered around like someone had left in a hurry. A yellow sticky note was attached to the cart handle. Today's date written in blue ink. 8:15 a.m., ST3 cam maint. I took 3 photos from different angles. The cart, the tools, the note. Then I saw something else. A shoe scuff on the concrete floor. A distinctive heel pattern pressed into the dust. I had seen that pattern before. Yesterday's all-hands meeting. My boss's Oxford shoes. Expensive leather with a unique waffle sole. I took a photo of the scuff mark next to my own shoe for scale. Then I took a wide shot showing the maintenance cart and the stairwell entrance. A car door slammed somewhere above me. Footsteps echoed through the garage. Getting closer. I slipped the phone into my pocket and walked calmly to the elevator. The footsteps followed, measured, deliberate. In the elevator mirror, I saw him, my boss, standing by the pillar where I had just been taking photos. Our eyes met in the reflection. He knew that I knew. Riley'd given me access to her spare office. Blinds half closed, dust floating in afternoon sunlight, the smell of old coffee and forgotten deadlines. I plugged in the flash drive on her air-gapped laptop. No internet connection, no corporate monitoring. The shadow archive contained something I hadn't expected. A screen capture video of the security console. Someone had recorded the maintenance process. The video showed a mouse cursor navigating to the camera controls. Clicking on Cam ST3, selecting Disable for Maintenance, setting the time window, 8:40 to 9. The cursor moved like someone who had done this before. No hesitation, no looking up commands, muscle memory. But the most damning evidence was in the reflection on the monitor's glass surface. A gold cufflink caught the light for just one frame, the company logo etched into expensive metal. I had seen those cufflinks before. My boss wore them every day, his 10-year service award gift. I exported the video frame by frame, enhanced the reflection, cropped and sharpened the image until the company logo was crystal clear. Then I found something else. The timestamp on the security console was synced to the building's atomic clock. Perfect accuracy. The camera was disabled at exactly 8:41:33. My hospital wristband showed I arrived at 9:17:21. Subtract travel time, and I hit the bottom of those stairs at 8:47. 6 minutes of perfect invisibility. I booked Huddle Room C for a project planning session. Small space, good acoustics, excellent for recording conversations. My boss had his weekly pre-board check-in at 3 p.m. He always used the conference room next door. The walls were thin. I slipped my phone under the table before the meeting started. Voice memo app running. Unlimited recording time. Through the wall, I heard his voice. Confident. Casual. The way predators talk when they think they're safe. We neutralize her. No witnesses. She's dramatic. She'll spin it. His laugh was like ice clinking in a glass. 3 flights. No witnesses. Another voice. His assistant. HR won't bite without a witness. That's why we control the narrative, he said. Clumsy employee, work accident, standard protocol. I sat frozen in my chair. This wasn't paranoia. This wasn't imagination. This was a recorded confession. The conversation continued for 12 more minutes. Details about the camera maintenance, plans to discredit my work performance, strategies to force me into signing the NDA. When it ended, I had 47 minutes of audio evidence. Clear voices, no background noise, every word perfectly captured. I uploaded the file to 3 different cloud storage accounts, sent copies to my personal email, burned a CD in the office copier. Now I wasn't just collecting evidence. I was building a case. The cafeteria buzzed with lunch conversations. Trays clattered. The smell of onions and reheated pizza filled the air. I needed to triangulate witnesses. Find the people who had seen pieces of the puzzle. First stop, the janitorial supervisor. Miguel had worked here for 15 years. He saw everything. That morning, he said quietly, your boss told me to put a wet floor sign by stairwell 3. Then 20 minutes later, he told me to move it. The courier was my second witness. Tony delivered packages throughout the building every morning. We got a message, he said. Avoid floor 3 between 8:40 and 9. Maintenance work. Dangerous area. The message came from facilities management, but facilities had no record of any maintenance work. My third witness was harder to find. Jordan, a junior analyst from the 4th floor. She had been avoiding eye contact all week. He asked if I'd seen you trip, she whispered, before anyone knew you had fallen, before the ambulance came. 3 witnesses, 3 separate conversations, 3 lines of evidence pointing to the same conclusion. This was planned, coordinated, executed with corporate precision. I thanked each witness and gave them my personal phone number. If anyone asks you about our conversation, I said, call me immediately. By evening, I had calls from all 3. HR had contacted them for routine interviews. The cover-up was accelerating. The lawyer's office smelled like leather and lemon oil. Law books lined the walls, diplomas and bar certifications in expensive frames. Counsel was direct, professional, expensive. Document, don't accuse, she said. Time, access, motive, show the pattern. Let the evidence speak. She reviewed my files, the emails, the audio recordings, the witness statements. Her expression never changed, but her billing rate suggested she was taking this seriously. This isn't sabotage, she said. This is assault with a corporate conspiracy, different league entirely. She drafted a legal preservation notice, formal language requiring the company to preserve all cameras, logs, Slack communications, and keycard access records. Deliver this through HR, she said. On the record, certified mail, make them sign for it. I slid the papers into a red folder, official, threatening, the kind of folder that made executives call lawyers. What happens next? I asked. They'll try to settle, she said. Fast and quiet. Don't take the first offer, or the second. This is bigger than your fall. She leaned forward. How many other women work on your floor? I thought about it. Maybe 15. Start making a list, she said. This pattern suggests a hunting ground. I walked out of her office with a red folder and a sick feeling in my stomach. This wasn't just about me anymore. The HR conference room had soft carpet and a faint lavender diffuser. Professional. Calming. Designed to make problems disappear. I placed the red folder on the conference table. The legal preservation notice was formal. Intimidating. Exactly what my lawyer intended. I'm filing an incident report and a legal preservation request, I said. My voice was steady. The HR partner, Diana, glanced at the clock on the wall. Still stuck at 8:48. Someone had put tape over the face to stop people from trying to fix it. She read the notice carefully. Her expression shifted from routine to concern to alarmed. This is quite comprehensive, she said. My lawyer was thorough. Diana nodded slowly. We'll need to follow standard protocols. Investigation committee. Third-party witnesses. External review. She leaned closer and lowered her voice. Bring a witness tomorrow, someone from outside the company. Make sure they can't pull the plug on this. I understood. HR was telling me the company would try to shut this down. Fast. The investigation starts Monday, Diana said in her normal voice. We'll need formal statements from all parties. As I left, she whispered, be careful this weekend. Translation, they know you're coming. The printer hummed as it spit out calendar pages. Warm paper, sharp toner smell. The board's audit committee schedule for the next 2 weeks. The audit committee met every Friday at 9 a.m., 15-minute slots for various agenda items, corporate compliance, risk management, internal controls. Riley slipped me a message from the committee chair's assistant, addenda welcome for urgent matters. Perfect. We could get a 15-minute slot, just enough time to present the evidence, create an official record, force the board to act. I built a single zip file called tracklight.zip. Audio recordings, video evidence, document timestamps, witness statements, the complete timeline of corporate-sponsored assault. If it plays, I told Riley, it ends. She nodded. Friday at 9 a.m., Boardroom A. Audio-visual equipment confirmed. I spent the rest of the day rehearsing. 15 minutes to lay out 6 months of evidence. 15 minutes to prove that my fall wasn't an accident. 15 minutes to end his career. The calendar page showed the weather forecast for Friday. Clear skies, 72 degrees. Perfect conditions for transparency. I folded the page and put it in my wallet. Next to the photo of my hospital wristband. Proof of where this all started. I scheduled a casual stand-up meeting for Friday at 8:45 a.m. Huddle room 3. Invited my boss and his 2 lieutenants. Quick sync before the board meeting, I wrote. But I had other plans. I called facilities and asked them to upgrade my boss's keycard security. He's been requesting access to sensitive areas, I said. Audit committee wants additional oversight. His keycard now required security override for stairwell 3 between 8:40 and 9:10. Any attempt to use the door would be logged and flagged. At 8:47, my phone buzzed. Security alert. Badge number 4471. Access denied. Stairwell 3. Override required. He had tried the door. At exactly the same time, he had pushed me down the stairs. My phone buzzed again. Text message from the board chair's assistant. Ready for your 9 a.m. presentation. AV equipment confirmed. I walked to the elevator. Pressed the button for the executive floor. The doors closed, and I felt the building rise beneath me. 1 floor. 2 floors. 3 floors. The same floors I had fallen down 6 months ago, but this time I was going up. This time I was in control. The atrium was bright with morning sunlight. Glass walls reflected the city skyline. The air was cold and clean. I walked with a journalist from Work and Power, a business magazine that covered corporate scandals. Her notebook was visible. Her press credentials hung around her neck. Off the record until it isn't, she said. We stood by the elevator bank as my boss rounded the corner. His face went pale when he saw the reporter. He tried to access stairwell 3. The door flashed red. An alarm chimed. He swore under his breath and tried his card again. Red light. Denial tone. The journalist took notes. "Unusual for an executive to be locked out of a stairwell," she said. Her voice carried across the atrium. Other employees stopped to watch. Word spread quickly in office buildings. Drama traveled faster than email. "Technical difficulties," my boss called out. His voice was tight, controlled. "Happens to the best of us," the journalist replied. "Especially around stairwells." By 8:55, a small crowd had gathered. Facilities management appeared with override cards. The security log would show everything. Timestamps. Failed access attempts. Executive embarrassment. At 9 a.m., the elevator arrived. I stepped inside with the journalist. My boss watched from the atrium. "Going up," I said as the doors closed. The boardroom was ice cold. Water glasses sweated on the mahogany table. Red urgent stamps marked thick document packets. 7 board members, 3 executives, 2 lawyers, 1 journalist. I connected my laptop to the presentation system. "Track 7, I said to the AV technician. The audio waveform bloomed across the wall screen. 47 minutes of recorded conversation. Digital evidence with timestamp verification. I pressed play. His voice filled the room through ceiling speakers. Clear, undeniable. "We neutralize her. No witnesses. She's dramatic. She'll spin it." The board members leaned forward simultaneously. The lawyers stopped writing. Even the air conditioning seemed to pause. I layered the evidence methodically. Email logs showing deleted messages, security footage of camera tampering, keycard access records, witness testimonies. The audio clip reached the crucial moment. 3 flights, no witnesses. The journalist's pen moved rapidly across her notebook. Live witness to corporate confession. My boss reached for his phone. Security stepped forward and gestured for him to wait. "Pause the recording," someone said. I looked directly at the board chair. No. The truth played for exactly 12 minutes and 37 seconds. Complete, unedited, devastating. When it ended, the room was silent. The boardroom door opened. 2 security officers entered with the COO. He carried a single sheet of paper. My boss started to stand. "I can explain." "Sit down," the COO said. His voice was flat, professional, final. He read from the paper. "Termination for cause, malfeasance, evidence tampering, workplace retaliation, assault." My boss's voice cracked when he tried to speak. "This is all circumstantial." The security officers stepped forward. One held out his hand. "Badge and company property." The plastic keycard made a small chiming sound when it hit the table, like a tiny bell marking the end of something. "Effective immediately," the board chair said. "Security will escort you from the building." Through the glass walls, I could see news vans pulling into the parking lot. Camera crews setting up equipment. The story was already breaking. The journalist closed her notebook. "Thank you for the exclusive access," she said to the board chair. As they led him away, my boss looked back at me once. His eyes were empty. Defeated. I felt no satisfaction, no victory, just tired relief. The clock on the wall still showed 8:48. Still broken. Still marking the moment everything changed. But now everyone knew what happened at 8:47. The press release hit the internet at noon. Measured language. Corporate speak. Signed by the audit committee chair. Following a comprehensive internal investigation, Midline Tech has terminated a senior executive for misconduct and policy violations. The employee's actions were contrary to our values of safety, integrity, and respect. The journalist's article went live 20 minutes later. More direct, more detailed. Business Journal headlines. Corporate executive fired after recorded confession of workplace assault. My phone exploded with notifications. 3 recruiter emails, 2 interview requests, a message from the client whose account I had managed. "Lunch tomorrow? We need to talk." HR filed reports with the Department of Labor and OSHA. Workplace safety violations. Failure to maintain secure premises. Corporate retaliation against whistleblowers. My lawyer prepared civil litigation. Assault, battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and conspiracy, she said. "We're going after personal assets, not just corporate insurance." The settlement negotiations started before dinner. Their lawyers called first, then their insurance company, then their crisis management firm. "They want this to disappear," my lawyer said. "Fast and expensive." But some things couldn't be bought back. His reputation, his career, his freedom to hurt other people. The broken clock in the conference room was finally fixed. 2:47 p.m. The correct time. Moving forward. My new office smelled like fresh carpet and paint. A small plant sat on the windowsill, catching warm afternoon light. The settlement had arrived that morning. Signatures, wire transfer confirmations, legal language that turned suffering into numbers. More importantly, the company had implemented new policies. Anonymous reporting systems, third-party investigators, mandatory bystander intervention training. The junior staff from my old department had been reassigned to different managers, safer reporting structures, better oversight. The broken clock sat on my desk now, still set to 8:48, a reminder of the moment everything changed. I walked the third-floor stairwell once, slowly, counting each step, 27 stairs total, concrete and metal that had tried to break me, but I was still here, still standing, still breathing. The security camera above the landing had a new housing, tamper-proof, always recording. A small green light blinked steadily. Someone had posted a sign on the wall, "If you see something, say something." Anonymous tip line, XT4477. Change was possible. Justice was possible. Even in corporate hallways where people preferred comfortable silence. I walked back up the stairs, step by step, stronger than before. 6 months later, I received an email with a familiar subject line. "Thank you for speaking up." The sender was someone I didn't recognize, a woman from another department, another floor, another life. "I saw your story in the company newsletter," she wrote. "Last month, my manager pushed me into a storage closet. I reported it through the anonymous system. They fired him yesterday." 3 more emails arrived that week. Similar stories, different details, same courage to speak truth. The journalist who had witnessed my board presentation was nominated for an investigative reporting award. Her follow-up series exposed workplace assault patterns at 7 other companies. The legal precedent helped. Corporate executives couldn't hide behind plausible deniability anymore. Cameras could be tampered with, witnesses could be silenced, but digital evidence was harder to erase. I still have the broken clock, still set to 8:48, still sitting on my desk. But now it reminds me of something different. Not the moment I fell, but the moment I decided to get back up. If you've ever been told your pain didn't count because no one saw it happen, I want you to know something. Someone believes you. Someone is listening. Someone cares about what happened to you. Tell me where you're listening from, because your story matters too. And there are always more ways to find the truth than they want you to know.